Are there any challenges you experience as a model now that you didn't, earlier in your career?
It's not really something that I think a lot about because I think I evolved with the business, and I've just taken every day as it comes, and now maybe I work with photographers I've never worked with before, which for me is always something that I strive to do because it's a whole new generation of photographers and a bit of a different way of being photographed. And psychologically, when I work with somebody that I haven't worked with before, you got to sort of figure each other out, mentally, because it's just you, the photographer, and the camera at the end of the day. So, besides that, I think I've probably done it all by now in this business. I can't seem to think of anything that would be a challenge. I've been there and done it, that's for sure.
That's great. Now, which celebrities or models do you admire?
It's not anyone in particular. I'll go see a movie and come out of the cinema feeling that a certain person in that movie had a really great feeling or sense about him or her, a different kind of vibe. Or I'll be looking through magazines and noticing a face that just kind of sticks with you. I don't really have anyone in particular that I can think of right now, but I would say that a lot of actresses from the 40s and 50s and 60s really made an impression on me that I still feel I probably have great admiration for a lot of performers from that period. There are so many people in both businesses now that it's like a constant change, and it's you constantly see new phases and new performances by new people, so it's hard to just pick one. I constantly get inspired by so many different people and so many different movies and music, and which is good.
Mm-hmm. Was there anyone in particular when you were first starting out as a model who you really looked up to?
No, not really as a model, and I'll tell you why. Because I never ever opened a fashion magazine until my early 20s when I was working myself. I don't know if it was because I grew up in Denmark, or just because no one in my family was particularly interested in that whole world. We were looking at interior decorating magazines, I remember. There was not a lot of models in there, but no, I would say more actresses. I remember being very fascinated with Marilyn Monroe, with Jean Seberg, and later on Jane Birkin, but I don't actually remember any models. I never looked in a Vogue, for example, until I was in my 20s.
Oh, wow. Are you a dedicated reader now?
I was a dedicated reader for a long time, and then I just felt I needed a change, so I haven't actually been reading magazines that much lately. I think it's just a way of, for me to get, a bit of a break from it, and then at some point I'll go back into it with sort of a renewed attention and delight over it. I sometimes just need to break the routine of what I'm doing, like every month going and buying all the new magazines. I think I just felt like I needed a little bit of a freshness towards it, and I did that by just not looking in magazines for a while, and then when I get back to it, I'll be excited over it again.
Oh, okay. So what are your interests right now apart from fashion?
Well, always photography. I've been doing a lot of nature photographs lately, and I really enjoy whenever I get the opportunity to go on a trip where I can do reportage, documentary, work with people, portraits, situations. Or I just went to Peru and photographed tribes living in the mountains, being affected by the the climate changes, and doing something like that on a personal level is something that I get very passionate about on all different levels. Besides that, I've been getting into playing a lot of piano lately, which I did when I was very young for 10 years, and I just recently bought an old piano and I'm doing it again. So I think just, whenever I'm not working, getting into little personal projects that I feel stimulate me.
Oh, great. I just have one more question. What's your next big project on the horizon?
Let's see. My next big project. Probably working towards photography again. I'm working with Oxfam quite a bit, and we were talking about going to North Africa, visiting villages that have been extremely affected by drought. So that hopefully will be planned and be carried out this trip, which would be very exciting for me. And then there's the summer holidays coming up, so I'm planning on just spending that in Denmark with my family and my son, my friends. That's probably what's in the nearest horizon.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much, Helena. It was great to speak with you.
Thank you. Nice speaking with you, too.
Thank you. Bye-bye.